Okay, just give us a second here, Nikita. I'm just gonna get it going.
Looks like it's,
Just 1 second, Nikita. I'm just switching the devices
Yeah.
because I'm standing in front of the
Yeah.
machine.
No worries, sounds good.
Sounds, we're just waiting for it to come back online.
Okay. Are you able to hear me okay?
I can hear you right now, okay?
Okay.
No
awesome.
issue.
Great. I
But
was
I'm over
just
in the
panicking
corner.
a little. Okay.
Of course. Newest, latest, greatest.
How much space in there?
There we go.
Oh.
That sounds better. It's coming. See it? No, that's still on the speaker.
Yes.
Wrong. We haven't switched yet to the owl.
chips and big bear rally, must, yeah. Just watch your eyes.
I wonder if it's because you haven't flipped the
No.
Who won't be yours, they decide.
Oh,
They had 2 eggs.
I bet you it is.
Big bear rally. Big bear rally. They had 2 eggs from the Spain rating. Maybe.
But is they all? Sorry.
He's gonna win.
There we go. No,
I never know best for me.
we haven't switched over yet. It hasn't switched. Huh?
So somebody's sitting on the nest, but I don't see the chicks. And they should be sitting on them?
No.
Yeah, they're still sitting on the.
Oh, that's looking a little more promising.
Okay,
really
can you hear us? Can you hear us now?
They post summaries and stuff.
Sure.
Shaking her head, yes.
Shaking her head. Okay, that's a good sign.
Owls are through.
Okay, we're all thumbs up? Okay.
All right, now can we hear Nikita?
I think you can hear me okay.
Oh.
Absolutely. So welcome, Nikita. And I'll let you take over from Callum and give us the renewal update to council.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you so much for this opportunity and yeah, appreciate your patience while I'm filling in for Callum. I am stepping in for my colleague Callum Matthews today, and so I'll do my best to answer all the questions as we go through the presentation. But anything that I cannot address on the spot, I will make sure that we follow up on it after the session. I hope that's okay. Yeah, so Vancouver, I do want to acknowledge quickly that Vancouver Island North is located on the traditional territory of the Kwakwaka'wakw people, who have been stewards of this land since time immemorial, since I am presenting about Vancouver Island North today. And just wanted to give a little bit of context before we dive right into the update. That Vancouver Island North Tourism and Regional District of Mount Waddington are proposing for an update or an MRDT renewal for the period of 2027 to 2032 at a 3% collection rate. The purpose of today's presentation is to inform you all about the MRDT renewal process and the engagement opportunities that are there in the coming days. This renewal does build on over 16 years of responsible MRDT management by the Wind and the Regional District of Mount Waddington. By Wind, I mean Vancouver Island North again. The regional MRDT collection has also been in place since 2010, as I mentioned, when the MRDT was initiated for all of the municipalities in the Regional District of Mount Waddington. And we will dive a little bit deeper into the actual boundaries or the reference area for the purpose of this project or this renewal process further into the presentation. 2026, though, is already a part of the current 5-year MRDT plan, which was from 2022 to 2027. And accommodation operators, local governments, and the Regional District of Mount Waddington had approved the current 5-year regional MRDT plan in the year 2022. Next slide, please.
Oh, oops. We were hoping you had your slide up.
Got it. Just hang on a second.
Cool. Yeah, because I cannot see the screen, so yeah, sorry about that. I should have mentioned this before.
On my computer, so that.
So do I, yeah.
See people in the audience.
Yeah, sure.
In the chambers.
It's going in. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So we're on the
Awesome. Yeah, just the second slide, the overview slide. Perfect. Thank you so much. Yeah, so the MRDT program is essentially a visitor-funded provincial tax, which was established in 1987. And it was established to create a sustainable funding model where tourists could contribute to the destinations that they are visiting. This program is currently in place over 70 communities across British Columbia, and it includes most of Vancouver Island. And the regional approach is like the standard and a pretty hands-on and proven model in the management of this program. A renewal for the MRDT does require the accommodation sector and the local government to support and demonstrate that this is actually a collaborative model that works really well for the region. And there is a 5-year renewal cycle that actually helps provide like good stability for the long-term planning while also ensuring accountability to stakeholders. Next slide, please. Now, this is the reference area that I was talking about. The regional boundaries of MRDT collection do encompass the District of Port Hardy, Town of Port McNeil, Village of Alert Bay, and the Regional District of Mount Waddington electoral areas A, B, C, and D, and Village of Port Alice. This does create a bit of a unified destination, which is like Vancouver Island North as a region. A regional designation does actually also eliminate competition between the smaller individual communities, and it does create like consistent messaging for tourism across the region. And this approach actually ensures that all the eligible accommodation properties with 4 or more rooms can operate under the same tax structure, which is fair and equitable for all the operators. Next slide. MRDT collection. Currently, it is collected from all the eligible accommodation properties, as I mentioned, with 4 or more rooms, including short-term rentals on platforms like Airbnb, HomeAway, Vrbo, etc. The Regional District of Mount Waddington currently, as mentioned, including District of Port Hardy, Town of Port McNeil, Village of Alert Bay, electoral areas A, B, C, and D, and the Village of Port Alice. These compromise the designated accommodation area in our context here today, and changing this at any point or changing the designated recipient does require a completely new application process. The tax that is remitted to the Ministry of Finance, and then it is dispersed further to the designated recipient. In our case, it'll be the Regional District of Mount Waddington, which then flows the funds to WIND to administer for like the regional tourism work. The process in the in Vancouver Island North region does also include like WINTAC, the Port Hardy Tourism Committee, Port McNeil Tourism Commission, and they actually serve as great advocates within this structure. As these bodies, they do have direct participation in the process, and they have benefited and are continuing to benefit from the MRDT funds. And they can definitely credibly speak to accommodation, to the benefits that the accommodation operators are like getting value out of this. Next slide, please. The eligible expenses, tourism marketing and promotion are like these are a list of eligible expenses that can be covered. Tourism marketing and promotion does have a great demand, and so regional pooling does create like a stronger campaign with greater reach and impact and visibility within the tourism market. Affordable housing is also something that can be looked into as an eligible expense, and currently in our case, the online accommodation platform funds, which is also known as the OAP funds, they are going towards Vancouver Island North region as a whole. And there is no separate, no separation of those from the general MRDT that is being collected. And further on, there are more eligible expenses like destination development, destination management, which includes wayfinding, signage, other tourism-focused projects, industry development, training for the tourism operators, which also benefits not just the local businesses, but also the other operators within the region. And visitor services is also another big component of the eligible expenses. Moving on, I do want to make a note of the ineligible expenses, though, that capital infrastructure, except housing, like any big infrastructure projects, they cannot be funded through the MRDT tax dollars. Next slide, please. A little bit about the process. The industry actually, a heavy support from the industry is required, and signatures in the form signatures from like the fixed roof properties with 4 or more rooms, they are the ones who actually fully support this process. And the current regional model which is structured currently, it does receive a lot of support from the local stakeholders. 2026 as mentioned, 2026 does remain a part of the current 5-year plan, which was signed off in the year 2022. And so currently changing the regional model mid-cycle might be disruptive and difficult. So our recommendation is to keep moving forward because with the current regional model as it has been working successfully. The applications do take about 3 to 6 months to develop, and 6 months since the time your application's been submitted till the time you receive the funds. That is on an estimated, that is an estimate of the timeline, that usually the amount of time that's taken for this kind of process. And another piece that I would like to highlight is the governance structure, which in our case, in WIN's case, it is currently already established and it has been functioning very effectively under the current model. So changing this would not be the best approach. Next slide, please. Just some key success factors that in case of WIN that has been demonstrated over the last 15 years. There has been great responsible MRDT management since the collection has begun in 2010. There has also been strong local governance and oversight that is provided through WINTAC, as mentioned before. It is a 15-member committee of the Regional District of Mount Waddington, and there are volunteer members that represent the tourism stakeholders, First Nations, strategic representation from each of the geographic areas, municipalities, and the regional district. Transparency is also something that has been a key success factor, just through annual stakeholder surveys, presentations, AGMs, seasonal launch events that happen, and other engagement opportunities which bring the stakeholders together. And lastly, the local oversight, which has been ensuring that this diversity of stakeholders that was just mentioned from across the regional sector does help bring everyone together and work towards the program collaboratively. Next slide, please. The benefits of MRDT. So far, MRDT has supported tourism businesses to grow revenues and support tourism marketing, as well as destination development initiatives, which has further also created year-round employment opportunities in the Vancouver Island North region. There has been a reliable performance-based funding through these years that has supported more visitors to stay overnight, more marketing funds that have been generated, which have direct correlation to success in Vancouver Island North region as well. Another point that I wanted to note is that regional approach has also been very, very beneficial, which has maximized the benefits while mitigating challenges rather than just fragmenting the resources across individual municipalities. Next slide, please. The regional value. Pooled MRDT funds have actually created a stronger and a large-scale marketing campaign that any single municipality could not have achieved independently. And so it has proved to be very, very beneficial. Destination BC's co-op marketing program has also been very helpful. The eligibility for this program does require 3+ communities to collaborate on unified theme, and Destination BC will match 50% of the funds. This match funding is inaccessible if a single community is applying for it. And so in WIN's case, this has consistently been leveraged, and MRDT contributions have just helped support seeking more and more Destination BC co-op funding as well. This year, successfully, for 2026, we've secured $66,000 and up to $125,000 were secured in the previous years. So this program has consistently shown multiplying effects of every dollar that has been collected. And again, like I said, a unified regional brand has been very helpful in increasing the visitor awareness for Vancouver Island North as a region, and especially the refreshed WIN branding that was launched in 2022 has also been very helpful in reflecting the regional identity of North Island. Lastly, I will mention that Wind has also proven efficiencies in planning, reporting, implementation, and all of this has actually been built and refined over the last 15 years of continuous operations since 2010 in this model. Next slide, please. This is a quick snippet of what the MRDT process's timeline is going to look like. This does show an inclusive and collaborative approach to the 2027 and 2032 renewal process. The engagement sessions have been planned for May and June, which more details to follow in the coming days. And this will provide more opportunity for local government, residents, rights holders, regional stakeholders to actually participate and contribute to the process. Background research and stakeholder mapping is also something that has been ongoing since March and April of 2026, which is feeding directly into the engagement and the plan writing. And this will also ensure that the process is informed not just by the regional stakeholders, but also by the rights holders before the technical documents are being prepared. And finally, the MRDT application will be submitted to the Ministry of Finance and Destination BC. We are hoping to have that submitted between August and September of 2026. Next slide, please. Here we'll talk a little bit about the regional MRDT fund and specific to Port Hardy as well. The total regional MRDT revenue has actually grown from 2022 to 2025, as you can see, and it is a 23% of increase over the 4 years under this regional management. I do want to make a quick note that the figures for 2025 are an estimate at this point, as we are currently waiting on 4 months of data from Alert Bay and Regional District of Mount Waddington electoral areas. Port Hardy has, and then coming to specifics of Port Hardy, the Port Hardy MRDT collection has also grown from the year 2022 to 2025 and has shown a 44.6% increase, reflecting the strong overnight visitation growth as well. Port Hardy's share of the regional total has also grown from 42.33% to 55.46% between 2022 and 2025, which is again an increasingly significant contributor to the regional program. The year-over-year growth has also rebounded strongly at 30.65% in 2022 after seeing a little bit of a dip in 2024. But this does demonstrate the resilience of the regional marketing model and how well it has been working. And lastly, the locally retained funds have also grown from approximately $92,000 to $133,000. And again, a 44.6% increase rate in funds, which is again staying directly in Port Hardy and contributing towards the local tourism investment. Next slide, please.
Now I'm done. Okay, there we go.
And some of the next steps, this is my last slide here. Some of the next steps, there is a virtual session, an information session that is happening to inform all the local stakeholders, the tourism businesses and operators. That's happening on April 29th from 11 a.m. and 12 to 12:30 p.m. There are 2 workshops that are also currently being planned for May and June. Tentatively, the dates would be somewhere in mid-May, May 14th-ish, or and in June, it'll be in early June. So like the first week of June is when we are planning to have those. And then, yeah, I would just appreciate your input and showing up for these sessions to be engaged and involved in the process, as this will help shape the next 5 years of regional tourism investment in the North Island. That is it.
Thank you very much. Any questions?
Do not have any.
Very confident.
I'm just so pleased that the money is coming in to help support in all time. And how it's going up.
So am I reading this correct that 55, just over half of the revenue, MRDT revenue, oops, it just disappeared
More
from the
than-
screen.
More than half.
More than half is generated from the collections in Port Hardy?
So these percentages are, yes, they are year over year, but I do also want to acknowledge that our total revenue is something that's on a regional basis, and the percentage is individually that each community is contributing.
All right, thank you. But, yeah, I think that is a yes.
So I take it as a yes too.
Yeah.
Any other questions? So thank you very much, Nikita. This was a great presentation and very timely because we were just talking about MRDT this afternoon. And we too value having it as a regional approach because we are all in it together.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You're welcome to stay for the rest of the meeting, but you don't have to.
Too late.
Too late, she's gone. All right, moving on to council action item.
Oh, there she
No.
is.
Sorry, I got kicked out of the meeting. Apologies.
I was just saying, you don't have to stay, you're welcome to stay for the rest of the meeting, but you don't feel like you have to.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I really appreciate the time and this opportunity to actually present about this great work that's happening in the North Island. And yeah, apologies if I missed anything on behalf of Callum. But yeah, if there are any follow-ups, like I said, we'll be happy to answer those after the session.
You did a great job. I've seen Callie present before too, and you did a great job.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you so much. I appreciate it. Take care. Bye.
Right.
Right, moving on, we have the council action item report for information. Moving on to correspondence, we have from Honorable Nina Krager, Minister of Public Safety and Solicitor General, regarding the situation table capacity building for information.
Good news.
Yeah, good news.
Yeah, it is good news. We have from provincial sales tax, PST expansion on professional services for discussion. CAO Nelson Smith, do you want to lead that?
Sure. Yes, so this has recently come to council's attention at 2 meetings ago, I believe, and it was kind of lumped in with a whole pile of things that were coming as a result of the budget announcements. But a lot of our local municipalities, including the village of Zabellas, is covering off, basically writing a letter now. We know that a resolution is going forward from the city of Surrey, but that won't be until September, and these changes are supposed to take effect in October. So we actually did sit on a call recently with the CAOs from across the province, and we just did a rough preliminary of what it would look like for the district of Port Hardy based on what we've already got budgeted this year for professional services. And it's roughly about a $10,000 increase in our overall budget for any of those services if they were to happen after October 1st. And then going forward, that's a continual amount. So my recommendation to council would be that I think that we should write a letter to the Ministry of Finance to also state our opposition, or at least our need to not impose these on local governments in order to help with budgets. And I realize that $10,000 probably doesn't seem like a lot to a large municipality, but given that a 1% tax.
It's pretty
increase is
big.
roughly $10,000 could be used for something much better.
Exactly.
I'll make that one.
I think that's
Well,
what,
I just have, I should know this, but I really
Sure.
don't. Is, our professional, does GST apply to professional services?
GST does, but we get 100% back of the GST.
Okay, that's interesting. So we have to apply, we keep track of it and apply for it.
Every quarter, we submit our GST requirements. So if you will remember, and I won't get on my soapbox about HST. But when HST was introduced, it was actually a really good thing for local governments because we've never received anything back for our PST. But when HST was introduced, we get 100% back on GST and 75% back on the PST, which actually was bringing revenue back into municipalities that we had been losing. And so when they went back to it and they separated it, PST then became one of those things we didn't ever get back. Rebated on. So in this particular case, when you're looking at professional fees, then, we're also looking at architecture and archaeology fees, which can be quite costly.
Especially bigger projects, yeah.
Counselor Tidbury.
I will make that motion.
I'll second it, and if Isabel doesn't mind us plagiarizing their letter. I
Yeah,
thought it was pretty good, and the 2 points they make sense to me.
Mhm.
The two sort of the options, well, the second option is better.
Any other comments? All in favor? Very good, thank you. Right, we have the draft minutes of the Emergency Planning Committee meeting held March 30th for information. Any comments? We have our Finance Department, March 2026 check and EFT listing report for information. Council reports. Councilor Tidbury.
well, at first, I'd like to acknowledge Rosalind Glenn for being nominated and accepted as Achievement Community Award. And the presentation's going to be at Government House in Victoria. And it's going to be quite an affair down there. I think it's a great award for this woman that's done a fantastic job for seniors. Other things I've done, I attended the Community Connection Fair, VIMWAG. I had a meeting with VIMWAG, talking about the very thing that we were talking about here of how Port Hardy is going in leaps and bounds with tourism, and I believe that Port Hardy has done very well from the advertisings that we've had out there and the guidance that we get from 4VI to represent Port Hardy. And that's that. I've done a couple of preliminaries meetings, and the fireworks are ordered. So there is going to be a fireworks display, hopefully. I think we're still waiting for the notification from FireSmart, but see if the permit allows for me to fire them off on that day. I attended the Table of Partners. That was very interesting, and I think the mayor has a couple of little points on that I'll let her mention. Other than that, it's been great, and like I say, it's a great achievement for Rosalind.
No doubt.
Councilor Texmo.
So I did miss one meeting, so I was in Mexico. But I was here for the transgender flag raising, and just same thing, John, just moving along with Balmy Days, and yeah, that's about it for me.
Yeah, Councilor Dorwart.
Yeah, I attended the Truck Logger Association meeting in Camp Orleans.
Thanks.
Yeah, the Truck Logger Association is a representative of the coastal logging industry. So a lot of other contractors, overwhelming majority of our members. And at that, the filmmaker of a film called BC is Burning was there, and I wrote up a little summary here, but, so BC is burning shows that while wildfire is natural, today's fires are becoming larger, hotter, and far more destructive across our province. The film argues that beyond climate change, decades of fuel buildup in our forests, dense stands, dead wood, and insect damage are a major driver we can actually manage. It calls for a shift from reacting to fires to proactively reducing risk through thinning, controlled burns, and better forest management, including Indigenous practices. The key message is that we can't stop wildfires, but we can reduce their severity and better protect our communities if we act now. So we spend an awful lot of money fighting wildfires. We could spend money preventing the extent of them, not all of them, but the damage.
They could cut it down.
Yeah, and trees are a carbon holder, but when there's a fire, they're a carbon releaser. So another reason to
Yeah.
prevent and reduce the severity of wildfire. So that was really interesting. And
Is there still a bit of a tension between contractors and leaseholders? So,
like at the TLA level?
yeah, well, I know
Yeah,
I've been to
something.
various truck logger meetings and sometimes there's a little tension between
I didn't find out.
TFL holders, people who hold the leases, and the contractors who have to,
There was like none of it was more about that showing.
you know, 'cause
So it was like, yeah.
You enjoyed it?
That, but it is predominantly independent contractors
who.
that are
the
members,
leases.
but I don't know about the politics inside. It's like, yeah, but it was interesting. And then, that's it. And I have looking forward to the, Association of Bank of Island Coastal Communities Conference in Victoria next weekend. Always really good info there.
Counselor Robertson.
Yeah, I'll just echo Councillor Tidbury's congratulations to Rosalind and well done, and those who nominated her. I went to the transgender, there's Easter is in there, and so the family thing, to the transgender flag raising, and I just did want to say a few words, because I've been to, flag raising, the recognition events, and meant to raise awareness. And it worked. I mean, the mayor had really good words to say at the beginning. And then right after that, there was a young person whose name I don't remember who spoke, Ocean, who was very wise, very articulate, and very moving in their words. And it was really interesting to see. And so again, raising awareness. Afterwards, we were having a little discussion about some communities that recognize it, some communities that don't. And I really was struck by Councillor Texmo's words where he said, lead by example. And so I was, yeah, you're right, it's lead by example. And then fortunately afterwards, Eleanor and I were to go to Guido's and just have lunch. And there was a young person there who was wearing a hoodie that quoted Frederick Douglass. And it said, better to build strong children than to try and repair broken men. And I thought, that's pretty good saying for a day like today, for a day like that. So it did raise, it raised my awareness. So it was good to see. And I'm just going to finish off with, after our MRDT presentation, after that presentation, and Port Hardy tourism is increasing. I will be interested to see some of the statistics as they come in next year and the year after, whether a decision by BC Ferries has any impact on that revenue or not. And it causes me great concern, I have to say. So we'll wait and see for that. But it's also something that I think is worthy of discussion at ABICC.
Thank you. So I too would like to acknowledge Rosalind for receiving the BC Achievement Community Award for 2026 and to thank council for unanimously supporting us nominating her, doing the nomination. And so Councillor Tidbury and I will be going down on May 6th to witness her getting the award. And we just got our official invite And I will be taking the mayor's chain, and I'm hoping that you will be taking all your awards and decorations, because that's what they say on there, bring your decorations. And those of you that don't know, that John was honored at the Government House, I don't know how many years ago, with an award there as well, so. So that was such good news. I attended a number of different meetings over the past little while. The transgender flag raising was very moving. I attended the social prescribing seniors fair that was at the Civic Center, and that was pretty interesting, all the different people there and all the different connections and different vendors, and it was very good. I would like to thank the Lions Club, so please pass on the thanks for all the work that they did on the Easter egg hunt. Having it in 2 locations in town, and how lucky it was that it was such a beautiful day. It was very nice, and even out at Stories Beach, there was no wind.
I had grandchildren there.
Yeah, so it was pretty special. And then I met with the Mount Washington Health Network new coordinator and went and had a coffee with her. And those of you that don't remember, I was very involved with the Health Network many years ago and was a co-chair for many years. And she's just new in the role, and Ricky Clark, and just
She was in your class, wasn't she? Mike?
1 year younger.
anyways, long time Port Hardyite, and very committed to the role, and just giving her some hints and tips and going forward. And yeah. So the Fire Smart community, and just leading off, like we have 2 Fire Smart coordinators, that one is for the district and one is for the Quago. We only have 1 year funding. Hopefully we'll get the 2nd year funding, but just to try and educate more people on trying to make their homes fire smart, making our infrastructure fire smart. Yeah, it's doing different things. And then on Thursday, I am meeting with the Board of Governors with North Island College, and hopefully we'll have some positive news after that meeting. And that's it for me. And you can see all the different things coming up. April 18th, Spring Festival, kickoff to the 60th birthday. So looks like lots of things are planned, and it should be a lot of fun. Deputy Mayor will be taking his grandchildren there, I hope.
We'll come.
So anyone that can make it, but and more planning that's going on for the 60th birthday party. April 28th, just want to acknowledge the National Day of Mourning, and April 30th will be our pitching day. So stay tuned. All right, no notice of in camera, and motion to adjourn. Councilor Robertson. Questions?